This time I will call this regular meeting of the Fort Lavaca City Council to order on this Monday, September 11th, 2023 at 6:31 p.m. I would ask everyone to please rise. Councilman Ward, will you deliver an invocation for us?
Sure. Let's pray. Father, we come before you with humble hearts. We thank you for your grace. We thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ. Lord, I just ask that you bless this time now, guide directed by your Holy Spirit, that the decisions that are made here are in accordance with your will. Lord, we pray for this nation, that you'll protect it from those that might seek to undermine it. Pray for our military, Lord. Keep them safe. Bless their families. We pray all these things, Father, in Jesus Christ's name and for his sake. And I give you the praise and honor and glory, Father. And I thank you for hearing our prayer. Amen.
Amen. Ask everyone to please join me in the pledges of allegiance. And while we're delivering the pledge, please remember that today is the 22nd anniversary of 9/11. And keep your thoughts and prayers out there for the families. 2,977 people that were killed that day in 2001. So please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag.
honor to the Texas flag,
I
I
pledge
pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
As we always do, we begin our meetings with comments from the public, and today we have here that is signed up to speak, Gary Jackson. Gary, come on up. And remember, we keep it short, and he wants to invite everybody to a program he's putting on.
I need a member of the audience 1 and 2 and 3, so I don't waste any of your time. I come here today. Many of you might remember my father, Glenn Jackson. He was the greatest man in the world to me, and I'm sure if he can see me now, he would look down and smile at the effort I come to you today. I'm not an experienced speaker. Y'all might have known me growing up here, Otter the Arrow, Eagle Scout, President, Explorer Post from Alcoa. I grew up, got my ham radio license. I had a CB radio and all, and went into ham radio. Weldon Weeks, the security alarm company, I would help him at times put in burglar alarms for the banks and the pharmacies and other places around town. So I come to you today, and it is the anniversary of 9/11. It's been 22 years, and that's a point I really want to bring home to you. I come to you today, enter your theater and yell fire, like Chicken Little running around with his crying out, "The sky is falling." And I know that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but for instance, you might think of Diane Wilson. She has protested. She's that squeaky wheel to get your attention, and she's been chained herself out there at carbide to columns, and she's gone extensively to bring awareness to issues. For instance, Formosa Plastics and Cox Creek, she pointed out that there's pellets out here and they stay forever and they're not good for your fish, and y'all need to clean up your pellets, put screens in the ditches and collect them. Everybody recognized the problem and recognized the solution, and now objects have been taken care of. Things are good. And that's what I want to do also, is just raise an awareness to something. The knowledge is power. And you need, like, for instance, you've done a great job, the community shines, the sidewalks, and all the efforts y'all put into developing the community. There is more responsibility than you can possibly take care of. But like the school system, somebody enhanced the football program, and it brought pride to the town, winning the football games, and more active people showed up to the games, and the stadium grew, and the bands and the cheerleaders and all the extra concession stands, the growth was good. But you need the diversity to bring all of the school up to as high as you can achieve. The rating on Texas schools I saw was number 10, and that's not the top 10. It is the bottom 10. We really need to work on our school systems, and that knowledge is power, and the truth will set you free. I have a meetings reserved Thursday at the library at 6 to 8 p.m. And I really want the newspaper to do all they can to get me as many people there to hear the truth about 911. And maybe then you can understand why I'm screaming fire, why I'm running around like Chicken Little, crying out the sky is falling. That's about my story. I sure appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Gary, if you want, you did explain what your program is about. It's about 9/11 and some of the background theories.
Yes, sir. It is the absolute truth. Dr. Judy Wood has a PhD in structural engineering. I'm not bringing you opinions. I'm presenting proven facts and evidence that I really want people to see the truth.
Okay, if you want to know more about it, attend his meeting. I promised that he could get that out at least.
Yes, please. I sent all of you emails. I know you don't have the time, but looking into that email, I sent you more than you need. And if you want more, I can present hundreds of hours of lots more detailed evidence.
You've got your extra minute now. That's all we can do. Thank you very much. We
Thank you.
appreciate it. All right, is there anyone else here to speak on an item that's not on the agenda? No, see none, so we will move on to our regular agenda, beginning with the consent agenda, which consists of the minutes of the August 14th, 2023 regular meeting, the minutes of the August 21st, 2023 special meeting and workshop, review of our credit card statements, receiving our monthly financial highlight report, and receiving our Victoria Economic Development Corporation monthly report. Have a motion. So moved. Second. We have a motion and a second to accept the consent agenda as read. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. And unopposed, motion passes. That brings us to our regular agenda. And our first item of business is to conduct a public hearing in accordance with the City of Port Lavaca Code of Ordinances, Chapter 12, Buildings and Building Regulations, Article 4, Substandard Buildings, Section 12-291. Is that 12-2? Notice A and B for properties listed. Derek, that's all. Wait, Pettis will give.
Here today to request the council to deem the following locations in front of y'all as substandard. Here to take any questions that y'all may have regarding those structures.
Have you contacted the owners of the property?
Yes. Yes.
We have some here today that I'm not allowed to speak. This is the beginning of the process. They still have a certain amount of time to talk to you and reach a plan.
Well, and that's what the council will establish tonight. Yeah.
So this is just part of the procedure, correct?
That's correct.
Emery, how long is the period after this?
So generally, what I'd recommend today is that this is just the beginning to establish a timeline from when these owners would have to remedy the situation. So today, the council would declare these properties substandard. From today, they will have a minimum, depending on what council decides in a minute, of 90 days to remediate the home. That can also be extended by agreement. But after the period of time established by council, and it can be if you need to talk about different homes that there are people here to discuss, it can be a different period of time. After that period, then the city will be free to go in and do the demolition at the city's cost and put a lien on the property so long as it's not a homestead. I don't believe any of these are homestead.
Let's see.
These properties have clear titles to them?
There's a couple that have, that are in estates. And those are a little bit more complicated, but we will try to ascertain the appropriate ownership before we take any action. But what needs to be understood is that any demolition, it's a lien on the property, not on the people. So it's, if someone wanted to come in and sell that property or the family wanted to clean up title to that property, then they could do so and not, and from the proceeds would be paid the lien that the city expended. But we've attempted to, on the two that are estates, we've attempted to contact as many of the heirs as we know. One of them's pretty clear about, it's about 9 heirs. The other one is much more complicated because it's 2 estates with multiple heirs. At least.
Yeah, 3 or 4 here today want to speak, but I want to open the public hearing and then allow them to speak. They can exchange.
We may want to take it one address at a time. If you wanted to, so that we can clear up,
Yeah, that would be here for.
so that we can note it for the.
Ann Street is here. 615 South Ann Street.
Let me open the public hearing first. It says we have to conduct a public hearing, so it's time 6:43 p.m. I will open the public hearing on substandard buildings and we will now proceed.
So maybe we take 121 Massanet first. You look at the pictures,
Sorry, I have some information about that address. That's it
Okay.
this morning.
okay? So we want to take 121 Massanet first. Since it's first on the list.
I spoke to an interested party this morning and he said he's going to need some time. He is interested in remodeling the structure. The time that we're talking about, the 90 days, kind of coincides with what he wants to do. And that's what's going on in Massanet. Since I've interacted with all this, we're getting movement. We're getting, people are listening.
Can you get that in writing?
Yes, I already have it in writing, sir.
All right.
However, I still would like the city to go ahead and declare, there's quite a process to get to this point, and there's been lots of notice before today. And we'd still like it declared substandard, but then they will have that 90-day period and any extensions granted by city manager after that.
We don't do that in an open set. I mean, we don't do that in.
Not in the public hearing.
Not in the public.
The next item.
But I just want to make it clear, even though there's an owner who does want to remediate or do whatever's necessary, we'd still like for the council to declare it substandard. And I don't know if you want to speak to it, Joey, like the pictures and what you.
The only concerns we found was foundation, and it recently had a fire a few months ago. And the person that was living in there has cleared the property and it's unoccupied right now. I was told this morning that it's going to be completely boarded up and secured from the public.
Okay.
That's another thing that the city has the authority to do. If even after today, when it's declared substandard, the city can go in and clear any unsafe situations and also tag that cost as a lien to the property.
Okay, so next one, 112. Massanet.
112 Massanet. I want to discuss.
Whitefield Massanet has approximately 5 windows, a garage door, 2 entry exit points. All the doors are missing. All the interior walls are missing. I've had a little bit response from somebody who wants to remodel it, but not from the property owner. So that's just the only response I've had as a result of that. It is open. It is not secure to the public. Anybody can go in and out of there. And of course, it's impervious terrain, which has already severely damaged the structure.
And it appears there is a signed return receipt.
Yes, there was a signed return. Yes.
503 cents.
615.
Huh?
615 South End.
Skipping.
615 South End.
Yeah, these may be out of order. It's six,
Are we on San Antonio?
615 South End. The pictures are out of order. Pictures are out of order.
615 South Ann Street.
15 South Ann Street. We identified some structural issues with the beams that are coming off the property. Holes in the siding, insect damage, water damage, weather damage. The graffiti is what stands out in the neighborhood. It is somewhat secure, but I can't verify for sure if it's 100% secure. Entry.
The owner's behind you there.
Yes, and one of the owners is behind me today.
Can get his information.
Yes.
Work with them and.
Okay.
Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Basically, aware of the structural issues with the house, and it's my decision that probably.
You can handle that on your own.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Really don't want the city to do it and then apply a lien to your property. Probably come out better if you.
Take care of that once.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right now, 503 South.
Okay, 503 South San Antonio.
503 South San Antonio. What stands out the most on this house is when you walk up to the front porch and you're about to hit your head on the E of the porch from it sinking into the ground. The foundation is has severely failed. I'd say it's a good 2 feet into the ground at this point. It is secure. It does have other damage as a result of the foundation failing also. And I have had little response on that, but I did get a signed receipt, signed return receipt on that structure.
Okay, we have one person here on that. You want to speak on this?
It's my mom's house and I planned on the mom's shit. That was in my plans to take care of it, but it's just take time. I haven't gotten all the papers work for me because my brother, this surviving brother, and all the paperwork, but I am planning.
Okay, like we said, this just gets the list going of the properties and it gives you time to get with our code enforcement, Joey Pettis.
It just takes time. I mean, I wanted to do it a few years ago. I mean, she passed away for 3 years and it's just so overwhelming because it's all in my knees.
Right. And we'd rather work with you than us.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you coming up.
I will make contact with you here shortly.
Okay, because I've talked to someone and see about getting it taken care of. So,
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, just need to- please.
1420.
And
22 Holland.
616 West Mahan.
Yeah.
16.
We need for the, Jack, do you need the names of these individuals for the record? To go.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to get their names. I was gonna get them from Joey, but.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Kenneth Yates,
YATES?
Vera Archangel,
Vera Archangel,
Is that ARCHANGEL?
yes.
Thank you.
Six 16 West Mahan. That's just down the street from here. When I first came here, I've got numerous complaints from that house. The walls are falling down. There are holes. I've gotten complaints about raccoons, many complaints about raccoons. The second floor is about to fall down onto the front yard. The roof's in disrepair. It is unsecure at this time.
Mr. Pena here.
How y'all doing? My name is Arthur Pena. Arthur
Orthopedic.
Arthur Pena, yes. A house my dad had that house on Mahan over here, Max Pena. When he passed away, it was in probate and I just now got it back from my brother. My brother had it, my sister, and now I had it, but I've been maintaining it. I don't think you, this is the first I've known of this, but the raccoon problem and all that, I keep up with it, the weeds, it's not overgrown, but it's not in the state of being demolished. I keep up with the taxes every year, I pay almost $80,000 in taxes for that neighborhood over there, so it's not as bad as what they're saying it is. And I'm gonna refurbish that house because it's an older house and the wood inside is all y'all know that the lumber is not rotten. There's parts that you see on the picture in the front that I need to re-roof that. Come the first of the year, I'm gonna roof it, and that'll take care of all the inside problem. But the inside, as far as the wood and all, it's all good. And I just wanna let you know that I am gonna refurbish that house because I know some parts of the windows, the kids break the windows, I fix them, they break them, and you know that neighborhood. But you can drive by and I keep it the grass maintained and do the best I can. I from here to Victoria to other places, but I give you my word that I'm gonna refurbish that. You know, I don't wanna demolish it because that's taxes for the city. And I know that it could be an asset to that neighborhood there. If you drive by, you can tell that it's not one of the worst homes there in that neighborhood.
Or if you can just get with Joey Bettis and plan with him and we'd be happy for you to continue working on it.
Thank you.
What's the next one?
Last one is 1422 Holloman, and the structure and the foundation are completely gone. There is some issue with the yard that's left behind in the backyard, and there's a fence and there's very little debris. But 100% of the house and the structure are gone. They have been demolished at the owner's expense. I still want to keep it on the list for things that are left over, some cleanup of the lot itself.
That qualify for substandard building now?
The vegetation does, and the debris on the property, yes. Well,
Constitute nuisance.
yes.
I don't know if that would be a substandard
Yeah, I don't think it's.
Yeah, it's not because the building's gone, but we could
for
still
this hearing.
Okay.
deal with it as weeds.
Yep. So, Oscar, John, did you have?
Harder to finish before, because actually the homeowners here went to a mess of that. I wasn't 100% sure if we could actually get up while he was trying to, make it pitch.
Now's the time.
Yeah.
Oscar, John. Which house is this?
This went to a mess in that.
Oh, okay.
Bill Real is the actual owner.
Yeah, Joe Villarreal. Well, the property is under my name, but my brother was the one that was living there. So the reason why it's somewhat demolished is because he's supposed to demolish it completely. So they started it, but he never finished it. That's why it's in the state that it's in now. But he pretty much left it up to me to do whatever I want with it. I sold it to Oscar here, so Oscar.
And it's still in the process of, we've gone to the Gulf Coast Title Company, and they're working on the process. But as of a couple of weeks ago, went ahead and cleaned up all the inside. The only thing I don't realize was that I had to board up the windows like Joe was talking about. Everything's kind of open, and we'll take care of that as well. But the house is going to be demolished. That's kind of the plan.
We informed, we got.
Yes, sir.
You'll be on the list, but. We just not have to do anything with it. We'd rather
Right.
take care of.
And I've got the permit already, but we just kind of wanted to go through the whole process of taking a look at the foundation, see if the foundation was any worthy of renovation, but it isn't.
So just let me clarify, who's the owner?
Joe Villarreal.
Joe. Oh, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And Oscar, what was your last?
Wrong?
That's wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank y'all very much. Appreciate you coming down. Joey, I believe that concludes it. Okay, so with that, we will close the public hearing at 6:55 PM. And we will move on to agenda item number 2. Consider a finding that the following properties listed located in Port Lavaca, Texas, just presented are in violation of the City of Port Lavaca Code of Ordinances, Chapter 12, Buildings and Building Regulations, Article 4, Substandard Buildings, following a public hearing held today previous to this. And that would be with the exception of the last one, 1422 Holloman, since the building is demolished. It would be, what's left would be considered nuisance, not
Yeah.
building. So do we need a motion declaring them substandard?
Yeah, and a time,
5 different properties, 1 through 5.
and then a timeline.
Probably, I would recommend 90 days. That's the minimum. If you wanted to say 120, that's perfectly fine. To give them time, it is within the discretion of the city manager to extend that time period. But just to let you know the process from here, once it's declared substandard, then we have to file the record that it has been declared substandard in the property records. So that anyone, for instance, Oscar will get a notice when he buys the property that it has been declared substandard and is subject to demolition. That's to put the public on notice. And then they will have the time period to be able to demolish or renovate or whatever. And then when that's complete, that can be lifted or released.
Do they have to have it completed within that
No,
90 days, but to start?
Well, I mean, yes,
yes,
but it can be extended by the city manager
Okay.
if there's progress being made.
Right.
But you can do as long as you would desire.
Consider 120 days.
I'll put it right, ready for the new year.
A motion declaring a substandard 121 Massanet Drive, 112 Massanet Drive, 503 South San Antonio, 615 South Ann Street.
616. I think it's 616.
But 615.
616 West Main. Okay, and then whoever makes a motion also include a timeline.
Motion that we send the property substandard, give them 120 days to take action.
So moved. I'll be second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, declaring these 5 properties substandard as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. You're not opposed, motion passes, and we're also giving 120 days time to it.
Why?
The other one is.
I would bring up the same.
Yeah. We can always extend it.
Yes, yes.
Right. You're done with that one? All right. I didn't even see that. Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 3, receive a budget report from Undine LLC for the Lavaca Water Treatment Plant for the 2023-2024 fiscal year pursuant to the water treatment contract. Jody, you want to begin this?
Yeah, on your front of you should be a report that on Undine's brought presenting the 23-24 budget and some other information, and I invite Undine to come forward and give us some information about what we have before us. And come up to the podium.
The names, but now I've lost it. You know, I know it's Rick. He doesn't want to talk.
Yeah.
It's Vance Tillman with Dundee. Well, like you seen in some of the summary notes, we were obligated to provide you a budget in July. So at that time, we had 4 or 5 months of actuals to project. And don't have a whole lot to say other than what's been presented, but we'll answer any questions you might have.
Yeah, we noticed that the calculation for the admin and general expenses, it's based upon the ERCs used is remaining at 5,000.
That's correct. Yeah, when we met separately before the transaction,
We anticipated closing a few of our acquisitions. The PUC has only approved one of them since then, and it actually came in after the budget was prepared. So, and really in order not to penalize the city, we just decided arbitrarily to hold at the 5,000 instead of to try and reallocate, which really would have favored us and raised your expenses. Ed's not here. You've met with him personally, and he would definitely give you the benefit there, and that was his decision.
Are we having any quarterly or semi-annual meetings to sit down and discuss any recurring problems that come up?
I know Jay's requested one upcoming. I'm not sure if it's on the calendar yet.
Set yet. Originally, we we're trying to get it set before tonight's meeting, but it wasn't available. So we're hopefully within the next couple of weeks. And I have invited the finance committee to be included in that. And I've heard back from Daniel already. And so we are trying to get all the players at the same table and just kind of go over.
Sure, happy to do that. He had some personal business that he had to attend to.
Alleviate any problems that crop up and they can get worse if we don't sit down.
Oh, communication is always better.
And we both had changes in personnel and just make sure we're same page with who we need to be talking to and communicating with.
Because this is new and we all need to learn.
Absolutely.
Okay. Any questions from council?
Since you've been operating the plant for several months, what's the health of the plant? What projects do you have coming down the pipe, or some of the things?
You're asking the right guy, aren't you?
Not exactly. Well, since you're up, what about depreciation and amortization? That's kind of going up quite a bit, I guess.
Sit down.
It's completely. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's completely a function of just capital improvements that have been made so far. I mean, it's just a straight calculation, and be happy to show you the details when we meet.
Major increase.
Yeah. Okay, Andy.
Yeah, so Andy Collins with Monday. We've got a lot of projects going on out there. We've updated quite a bit of the electrical, because the electrical in probably 1970 vintage on most of it. The SCADA system, GBRA owned the towers in the SCADA and the 900 megahertz radios. We've changed all that out. That was quite an undertaking. The next big thing that's going to try, I think, to improve water quality for everybody is we are rerouting the raw water intake to the very far side of the reservoir. And that's going to be the primary water source is coming out of the reservoir instead of straight out of the canal. It gives settability to the water before it reaches the plant. So the less TSS that we're getting into the plant, the better. So that's some of the big stuff. We got a brand new generator that's capable of running the whole plant instead of just parts of the plant. That's scheduled to be installed in the next couple of weeks. Also, the meter leading out to Lavaca, the main going out, was necked down for whatever reason from an 18-inch pipe to a 10-inch meter. And now that's going to be an 18-inch meter within the 18-inch pipe. So there's not going to be a restriction there. So yeah, little things that we're finding to try to improve quality and quantity we're doing. So.
Have you found anything in the plant, Andy, that you didn't anticipate when you initially looked at this?
Not really, I mean, we knew what we were getting into. I mean, there's nothing that's just glaring that's like, oh my God, we didn't find that, it's just.
That's good news.
It is. No, we're happy and we're moving right along, making progress. So we're not spending money unwisely. We're putting money where it needs to be spent.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to, I know you have another budget, but I know Just out of curiosity, I don't know, maybe Tim too, we'd like to see the plants.
Yeah.
Improvements are and that kind of thing.
Right now, we got it tore up, running a 16-inch pipe around that levee. So, yeah, we got a lot of work going on there right now.
Okay.
So, it's like 1,800, I'll call it 2,000 feet of pipe that we're running around to the far side of the reservoir.
Mr. Thomas, just know that at some point, like.
Yeah, absolutely. No, no.
Your construction.
Let's put a little bit more polish on this thing here and it's, where we're all gonna be proud of it, when you walk in there, you're going, yeah.
So, just from the properties that we've seen of yours, we expect good quality.
Absolutely, yeah. It.
This council?
Thank you guys again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Doctor.
Very well. Want to speak? Rick, want to speak? What the PR man?
Since I did come, they gave us the fact, everyone speak again.
You heard a lot of promises and guarantees from us on communications and the improvements that we'd like to make. So I wanted to be here to be able to assure you and reassure you on the communications motivation that we have to do a better job than I think you've ever had in the past. However that may have been, we'll be here as promptly as we can to answer any specific questions. Jody's got a good line of communications with our executive management. Any of you can use that, and we'll be here as quickly as we can. And while I don't know the technical operations aspects of the plant, I live 30 minutes away, so I can be here anytime you need me. We're here for you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And then the bottom line is, while we're mostly in Houston, you are not out of sight, out of mind. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all being here. And we're going to move on now to the faster items. We begin with agenda item number 4, consider request of the Chamber of Commerce parade permit, traffic control assistance, and closing off several streets for the annual lighted Christmas parade on Friday, December 1st, 2023, beginning at 6:30 p.m. And also a request for waiver of any fees associated with the event. Tanya?
It's a standard lighted Christmas parade. It'll begin at the Bayfront. It'll end at Sandcraft Stadium. And I kick off Christmas in Fort Lavaca.
So move. Okay. This is our annual event.
Yeah.
Been going on for all my life. Does that happen yearly?
All right, we have a motion and a second approving the request of the Chamber of Commerce for a parade permit, traffic control assistance, and closing off several streets. Annual lighted Christmas parade on Friday, December 1st, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. and waiver of any fees associated. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none opposed, motion passes. We'll move to agenda item number 5, consider the request of Our Lady of the Gulf Catholic Church for a parade permit and traffic control assistance for the Marian Rosary Procession Parade on Sunday, October 8th, 2023, beginning at 5 p.m. And also a request for waiver of any fees associated with the event. Colin? Second. This isn't their first rodeo. They did this last year, didn't they?
Oh, 2 years. 2 years.
Okay, we have. We have a motion and a second approving the request of Our Lady of the Gulf Catholic Church for parade permit and traffic control assistance for the Marian Rosary Procession Parade on Sunday, October 8th, 2023, as presented. In favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. None opposed, motion passes. We'll move to agenda item number 6. Second. Okay.
We done his facts on this every year.
Right.
It's exactly the same.
Let me read it. Consider request of Our Lady of the Gulf Catholic Church for parade permit for traffic control and assistance for their annual Christ the King Eucharist Procession Parade on Sunday, November 26th, 2023 at 5 p.m. and also a request for waiver of any fees associated with the event. Now, we have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
In a second.
We already,
Rosie.
we already had done it.
Yeah.
Jim and then me.
Whoever Mandy says. Got two, Mandy?
Yes.
Yeah, he had already done it and Rosie.
Mandy and Rosie. Perfect. Okay. Rosie.
Thank you, Bill Allen.
Is that all?
Jim and Rosie. Mandy has. Okay. I held her. Okay. So we have motion and second approving the request of Our Lady of the Gulf Catholic Church for a parade permit for traffic control assistance for the Christ the King Eucharist Procession Parade on Sunday, November 26, 2023, as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. You opposed, same sign.
You did good.
Opposed, motion passes. All right, we move to agenda item number
Oh, here's another one.
7. Consider request of the County Fair Association for parade permit and traffic control assistance for a parade on Saturday, October 14, 2023, beginning at 9 a.m. The parade route will be from Sam Crab Stadium, Sam Fabian, North Virginia, Main Street, and the end of the Bayfront Peninsula. Also request waiver of any fees associated with the event.
So moved. Second it.
Do we have a motion and a second? Mandy, right? A motion and a second. Approving the Calhoun County Fair Association parade permit for October 14, 2023, as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Hearing none opposed, motion passes.
Somebody was here on that.
What?
Airport seems to speak.
I was just
Oh,
gonna say,
I'm sorry.
annual, the same one every year.
Well, that's why we were rushing through it. We usually nobody shows up. But we appreciate you being here.
The parade will start promptly at 10. Usually it's about an hour. And it'll end at the Bayfront.
The important thing is to get CJ all the information there so he can print it in the paper.
Yes. I can tell you.
Right.
That's it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for coming.
Okay.
Yes, so we voted on that.
So we're rotors.
Yeah, no, it's all, yes.
Okay, we're at agenda item number 8. Consider request of Fort Lavaca Police Department for a temporary street closure of the 100 block of East Railroad Street from 200 block of North Virginia to the 200 block of North Colorado for the annual National Night Out celebration on Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. and waiver of any fees associated with the event.
So moved.
Second it. So we have motion and a second approving the request of the Fort Lavaca Police Department for temporary street closure of the 100 block of Railroad Street as presented for the National Night Out celebration on Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023, as stated. And waiver of any fees. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye. And that's right out here.
Yes, sir, in front of the depot.
All right, good deal.
It starts right here and goes all the way to the left.
We'll see what kind of turnout we have. This will be the first time that we had it actually at the, for years, the Seagreens, management was putting it on. We'll give it a shot. If it's big, then we'll try to move it to the Bower.
I think this is better. Like this.
Hey, fine.
Aye. Aye. Say, any opposed? Hearing none opposed, motion passes.
Better.
We'll give them a number 9, consider request of the Port Lavaca Police Department to declare 3 fleet vehicles used in patrol capacity as surplus and donate the vehicles to Calhoun County Independent School District. Colin?
So these are 3 Tahoes that we've had for quite some time. They've been off the line for months, even a year. One of them would make a pretty good as far as unit. The other 2 they were gonna piece together to make a good unit. Recent statute or mandates from the state is they have to have armed, whether it be security or armed officers on each campus. And so this will kind of help their cause as far as donating these vehicles to them or turning over the titles to them so they can use them as they will. They don't do a whole lot of traveling as far as that goes. They're guys basically, the cars mostly are parked for the most part.
Sounds like a good idea.
So they'll have the police markings still on the car, on the vehicle.
They will have their own markings. In fact, there are markings are already stripped off.
Okay, ISD is what they're gonna police.
Is all the equipment still inside or is that all stripped?
So one of them is fully equipped. We do have, as far as, because we didn't know what we were gonna do with them at first for the enterprise and stuff. But that equipment is still available that they can use as far as going through it and figure out what they want.
What the approximate value would be?
If you were to probably put those vehicles in auction, you may get $500 a piece for them.
They are bad.
They're pretty rough.
Three vehicles. Surplus.
No move.
Second. That would include approving the donation to Calhoun County Independent School District, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Jim?
Jim, would that include? Donation.
I didn't say that. Okay. Okay, so we have a motion and a second approving the request of the police department to declare the three vehicles presented as surplus and to donate said vehicles to Calhoun County Independent School District. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Opposed, motion passes. All right, we'll move to agenda item number 10, consider appointment of members to the Recreation and Parks Board to fill vacancy and or start a new term. Jody?
Mayor Council, the Recreation Parks Board has 2 terms that have expired for Max Sistrunk and Olga Zila. And both members have requested to be reappointed to the Recreation and Parks Board, and staff recommends approval.
So moved. Second it.
You know,
Yeah.
Tim?
Tim
got this.
Tim.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and second approving Olga, what did I say last name? Zila. Olga Zila Max. Sistrunk. Not doing good today. As renewing their terms on the Recreation and Parks Board. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The opposed, same sign. Opposed, motion passes. We move to agenda item number 11, consider appointment of members to planning board to fill vacancy and or start a new term.
On the planning board has a vacancy, Cheryl Quayler, and she has sent a letter of interest to be reappointed to the planning board.
So moved. We have a motion reappointing Cheryl. She's planning board?
Yeah.
Yes.
How many vacancies were there?
Just
Jim,
one.
motion on those in second.
I'm not running man.
Yeah, here, that's fine. I got it. That's fine.
Showed them in a hurry.
I'll run faster.
Cause, okay, so we have a motion and second approving Cheryl Quayler. Just to the planning board to start a new term. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Opposed, motion passes. Move to agenda item number 12, consider proposed city compensation plan for the 2023-2024 fiscal year. Jody?
Mayor Council, this year, the staff performed a review of the current salaries being and found that 100% of full-time positions are currently being paid at the minimum pay recommended in the compensation plan that was adopted by council last year. Last year, an in-house salary survey was performed by city staff. Another in-house salary survey is not required by policy until next year. The staff did invest time this year to compare our current midpoints with those reported by our comparable cities, the annual TML salary survey, which is available online. As a result of this review, we are recommending that the salary range for municipal clerks move from a 33 to 34. We are also proposing to add the job description of capital projects grants coordinator, as we discussed at this year's budget workshop. This is an additional position to our full-time employee number. We are also proposing a new job title of Department Office Manager be added to the salary structure in pay grade 40 and reclassification for the current administrative assistants in the Police Department and the Public Works Department to Office Manager Police Department and Office Manager Public Works Department. These are not additional positions, but rather a reevaluation of the current job duties associated with those positions, which were overlooked when we performed the salary survey last fiscal year. The proposed job descriptions are attached in your packet with a recommended pay grade of 40, which align with the duties currently being performed for each of these positions. Staff has assembled job descriptions from among our comparative cities, active job postings, and current pay scales associated with the office manager duties. We've determined that a pay grade of 40 should be assigned to an office manager job description and request City Council's approval. To approve the compensation plan as outlined, and based upon what council's done in the past, we're looking basically for 4 motions. The first would be that the city council approves the salary structure as presented, providing an amount equal to 5% of the estimated fiscal year 2022-23 payroll for merit increases for the fiscal year 2023-24, which is what we budgeted for. Second, approve the addition of 1 new position being capital projects grant coordinator and approve the job description and grade as presented. 3, the addition of the job title office manager into the pay structure at grade 40 and approve the reclassification of the administrative assistant positions in the police department, public works department into this new pay grade. And 4, the city headcount is approved at 100 full-time employees and 3.38 part-time FTEs. Again, in your packet is the salary structure as presented with the highlighted changes from last year discussed in the memo, as well as copies of the proposed job descriptions and some of the backup data that we collected from the comparable cities when looking at online CML salary survey, as well as the research that went into the office manager position.
That's quite a lot of information. Thank you for providing that. It's pretty clear, straightforward.
You did it in 1 motion. Okay, all 4 things.
You make 1 motion for all of them?
The 4 recommendations.
4 items. Yeah.
Those 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
As stated in the memo.
Yeah, or stating. Yeah.
Second.
We have a motion approving the
4 recommendations.
4 recommendations as stated in the staff proposal memo. State them and mess them all up.
They're in, yeah.
Let's do
That's in.
We have a motion and a second to got it, approving the city compensation plan and the 4 items as set forth in the staff memo. So all in favor, say aye. Both same sign. You're not opposed, motion passes. Thank you all
Thank you,
very
council.
much. Thank you, guys, all of you. Okay, now we move to agenda item 13, consider second and final reading of an ordinance S-1-23 approving the annual budget for the city of Fort Lavaca, Texas, and adopting the budget documents for the fiscal year October 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2024. Jody?
There are no changes to this ordinance from the first reading. And again, it requires record vote, and the motions required are at the bottom of the memo.
Put the memo out.
Yeah. Motion, I move to.
Yeah, I move to adopt the FY 2023-2024 annual budget as presented by the city manager.
Second.
And it needs to be a record vote, correct?
Yes. Begin with Kim Barr, yay. Rosie Padron,
Yes.
Yes.
Jim Ward, yes. Alan Tippett, yes. And Gary, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Six vote. Second and final reading passes. Ordinance S-1-23 passes. City budget. Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 14, consider ratification of property tax increases reflected in the budget. Susan?
Yes, so in accordance with the local government code, section 102.007C. When adopting a budget that will require raising more revenue from property taxes than in the previous year, a separate vote of the governing body to ratify the property tax increase reflected in the budget is required. So this vote is in addition to the separate from the vote to adopt the budget or a vote to set the tax rate. Essentially, you just voted to say you adopted the budget. This is saying, and we do it one more time with feeling. But staff recommends a motion as that is outlined in the memo, which basically says I move to ratify property tax revenue increase reflected in the 23-24 budget.
This isn't a record vote, is
I
it?
move to ratify
No.
property tax revenue increase reflected in the 2023-2024 budget.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Approving the property tax increase reflected in the 2023-2024 budget as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Not opposed, motion passes. All right. Move to agenda item number 15, consider second and final reading of ordinance S-2-23, fixing the tax rate and tax levy for the city of Port Lavaca, Texas for the year 2023. Jody?
Again, there are no changes to this ordinance for this second reading. Fixing the tax rate and the tax levy. There are three motions required, that are listed in the memo. The first of which must be a record vote.
Move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.7807, which is effectively a 13.23% increase in the tax rate.
Second.
Get you in a second.
Jim.
Always get Jim and y'all sound alike.
Oh, really?
Looking at you.
This must be a record vote.
This one.
So we have a motion approving the property tax rate increase by adoption of the tax rate of 0.7807, which is effectively 13.23% increase in the tax rate. Motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
This needs to make a record vote.
Gotta be a record vote, so we'll begin again with Kim R-A-I. What? A-I-O-U.
Rosie Patron, yes.
Yes.
Jim Ward, yes. Alan Tippett, yes. Daniel Gary, yes. Six vote. Yes, the motion passes.
So now we have the two other motions.
Okay.
They do not have to be right.
So I move to adopt the maintenance and operations rate of 0.6986.
Second.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, adopting the operation rate of 69.6986 as presented. So all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. And none opposed, motion passes. Next motion. Yeah.
I move to adopt an interest and sinking rate of 0.0821.
Second. Okay. That Jim.
Jim.
A motion in a second, approving the interest and sinking rate of 0.0821 as presented. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, same sign. None opposed, motion passes. Ordinance passes. Okay, where are we?
16.
That's what I was afraid of. All right, we're moving on to agenda item number 16. Consider second and final reading of ordinance ordinance G-7-23 of the city of Port Lavaca, amending the code of ordinances, appendix A, fees, rates, and changes, DBRA fees, building, utilities, water line taps, and providing an effective date. Derek?
Yeah. Mayor, yes, I believe this one's Wayne's, correct?
Or, I mean, I can do it this.
I'm not, yeah, I'm not sure what's.
Right, there's from the first reading are in red in your memo, and there's basically was just two. One of them, remember
The
that
tampering
with
fee.
the tampering fee?
Yeah.
And so the
wonder where that
tampering
came from.
fee is the tampering fee is edited to reflect the motion at the first reading, which was $100 plus the cost of repair for the first offense and $500 plus the cost of repairs for the second and additional offenses. And also, we added a header for the table identifying the section that applies to the Bio Community Center rental rates. So that's the only changes that were made to the ordinance. The fee changes.
Rosie. We have a motion in the second, approving the second and final.
Take those.
Make that one word into the. All in favor, say aye. Both same sign. And none opposed, motion passes. To agenda item number 17, consider second and final reading of ordinance G-8-23 of the city of Port Lavaca, amending the code of ordinances, chapter 20 and article 3, accumulations on property, section 20-46, assessment for failure to remove accumulation after notice, 20-47, statement of expenses, lien, addition of new article 12, litter addition, new article 13, graffiti, providing for severability and providing repealing clause, providing effective date. Derek?
There has been no changes since the first reading. Basically what this was is what we did add graffiti to our ordinance because it gave us extra points for scenic city. It is against state law for graffiti, but
And littering, yeah.
if we had our ordinance, we have no points. So.
Moved. Okay. We have a motion to take a second. You got them? Motion and second, approving the second and final reading. That's D-8 this is like a mini code of ordinance, chapter 20, environmental and health. As presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Ready at agenda item number 18, consider second and final reading of ordinance G-9-23 of the city of Port Lavaca, amending the code of ordinances, chapter 42, subdivision and plats, article 7, group housing and commercial development, section 42-161, landscaping, adding new section 42-162, dumpster screening, providing for severability, providing a building clause, and providing an effective date. Derek?
Mayor, council, this is the second reading. It hasn't changed from the first time. This basically is the same thing. For the protection of landscaping during remodel or new construction. And also dumpster screening. It helped us with points with Scenic City as well.
So moved. Second. We have a motion and a second approving ordinance G-9-23, Code of Ordinances, Chapter 42 subdivision and plats, housing and commercial development. As presented, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Opposed, motion passes. Right, now the fun one. Agenda item number 19, consider first reading of ordinance G-10-23 of the city of Port Lavaca, amending the code of our ordinances by repealing chapter 30, article 2, juvenile curfew, and providing an effective date. Oh,
Mayor Council, kind of. The short end of it is that the state no longer will allow cities to impose a juvenile curfew. And so this is us basically doing away with our juvenile.
What were they thinking?
We're taking everything to the state.
the county has to.
Local regulations.
The state do a curfew?
They're not going to.
That eventually moves to the Fed, and first thing you know, we're just like a herd of cattle.
Takes one tool away.
So
Second.
I will second, but I'm not keen on it.
I'll second.
It's to go in accordance with state law. I mean, we don't have a choice.
Yeah, we don't have
I
a.
know.
That-
We just sound like twins.
Okay, we have a motion to set and a second approving the first reading of ordinance G-10-23 of the city of Port Lavaca, amending the code of ordinance. Giving chapter 30, article 2, juvenile curfew as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Hearing none opposed, motion passes. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, but not really.
Guys. No ears or no counts. Right, we move to agenda number 20. It's been a recommendation of the planning board to approve a conceptual office building to be located at the corner of North Virginia and Independence Drive, Calhoun Appraisal District Property Identification Number 53488. Derek?
Mayor, council, this is a conceptual plan for an office building for home health. It is just gonna be for an office. As you probably know that they do most of the work at business. So,
Talking right there across from the store.
yes, on that same side. And due to the drainage issues and also utilities, in our future sidewalk plan, it wouldn't work out in accordance with what we have laid out on the map. So they've agreed, they're replatting it right now, and they've agreed to give us 8 foot of their property to use for sidewalk in the future.
What about the drainage? You said you brought it to the.
Well, there's a ditch that go right through Virginia.
Yes.
And so trying to do a sidewalk in that location, plus with the utilities, just wasn't feasible. So in the future, they went ahead and provided us with an easement.
So we're gonna maintain it. I mean, are we gonna have a ditch there or we're gonna?
Yes.
Change it up. Okay.
I mean, that's TxDOT's right away. And the point is, it was impractical to try to put a sidewalk in that right away.
No, I
So we've
understand.
got to get,
So, yeah, that basically they just gave us about 8 foot of their property for an easement.
Whose district is that?
that's, I think, depends.
Yeah.
I just have.
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion. Second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second approving the recommendation of the planning board to approve a conceptual and approving a conceptual office building to be located at the corner of North Virginia and Independence Drive. As presented, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Anyone opposed, motion passes. Move to agenda item number 21, consider the purchase of Brightly Smart Gov and Asset Essential Software. Derek? Oh, that's software for buying some software.
Yes,
That we budgeted for.
yes, it wasn't the budget. Just got approved, so. But this is really gonna help us out as far as the code enforcement permitting and also with public works. It's just, we were watching the just how everything ran. It looks like everything's just gonna go a lot smoother than what it did with iWorks. So I'm looking
The
forward.
October budget,
I'm sorry?
the upcoming budget,
Yeah, the one disapproved.
then you wanna buy it now?
Oh,
In 2 weeks.
Well, they're asking to enter into a contract so we can get a special discount. On September 30th.
We don't pay anything until
That's all right.
next.
the bill won't be due for 30 days.
Right.
Pursuant to the public property finance act.
But this will also allow for payments online. So it's gonna help streamline a lot of things. You can also look up your project 24/7.
Oh, really? They help us keep track of our assets and what we have. I don't understand exactly what it does.
The Asset Essentials part of it handles asset management,
Okay.
and it's more comprehensive than iWorks. This is down to the minuscule detail.
Well, that's good.
Are you gonna have a separate purchase or is this all one?
No, it's,
It's all one, but it'll be billed to the different.
And it does integrate with GIS, so that's all gonna work out very well.
So move.
Okay.
Motion and second approving the ID Smart Gov and Asset Essential Software as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Pose same sign. Opposed, motion passes.
It can find those assets. I don't.
You can't find them. They don't have anything that good yet.
That is about.
Unless you want to pay big bucks and bring in LiDAR.
I think I already have.
Right. Move to agenda item number 22, consider award a construction contract for the Harbor of Refuge Railroad Culvert Replacement Project.
Mayor, council, as you recall, in April, the
Yeah.
Port Commission made a recommendation to council to solicit bids to replace the culvert and corporation ditch under the railroad in the Harbor Refuge.
Right.
In June, City Council approved Urban Engineering Task Order 32 to prepare bid documents. Plans were prepared to install two 96-inch polymer coated galvanized corrugated pipe. This will allow for increased runoff that will come with future development. We submitted the plans for Union Pacific Railroad review in accordance with our 1971 track agreement on 8/9, on August 9th. Bids were opened on Wednesday, September 6th, and although we were anticipating at least two bids, only one bid was received from Lester Contracting. A bid tabulation is attached. Base bid, which is $749,850, is for the pipe specification that is specified by Union Pacific. This pipe only comes from Illinois and has a lead time of 10 to 12 weeks. Alternate bid number one is for an alternate pipe specification that still meets railroad's E80 loading, but is less expensive and is more available with a lead time of 4 to 6 weeks. We were not able to get any feedback from the railroad regarding the approval of this alternate pipe specification prior to bidding, so we bid both alternatives. I did actually today receive communication from the railroad, our contact person, who confirmed, he has submitted our request for approval of this alternate pipe to their engineering group, although we haven't heard back. He said realistically, it may be another week before we hear anything. He told me that as long as what we're submitting meets E80, he thinks it probably will be okay, but he's not the one to make that decision. Lester Contracting has stated that once they have the pipe in hand, that the actual work will take about 30 days. Staff recommends that an award be made to not exceed the base bid amount, $749,850. Staff will continue to work with Union Pacific Railroad, and the contract will not be executed until approval is received from Union Pacific Railroad. If they do approve the alternate spec, then obviously the award will be for the alternate bid amount and not the full amount. I've attached some photos that kind of, shows the existing condition of the pipe justifying its need for replacement. In fact, we are to maintain railroad in Port Lavaca and to the Harbor Refuge. In the budget that we just adopted, there is $300,000 that was budgeted for this culvert work. Obviously, it's came in a lot more than $300,000, so we will be looking at getting either another $449,850 or another $339,850 from the general fund reserves, depending on which alternate we are.
How did the discussions go with Helena as far as that?
We don't, I mean, I reached out to, I reached out to them with the information that we've got as far as now we have dollar amounts. And we don't have anything, any firm commitment, from them at this point.
And they can't use that spur until we get it fixed. Is that
Correct.
right? They just,
Yeah, I mean, right,
is this a picture of the top of the pipe?
no, that is the bottom of the pipe.
Okay, well then why don't we just flip it over? It looks like it's.
I don't think the railroad.
Probably
We have to support a train.
No, I know we have to do something about it. Locomotive goes over there.
I don't have.
We could get some, buy-in from Helena.
I don't think
Alan.
without buying them, to be honest.
If
There's
look at this,
payback,
we're really close.
Money.
The top up there,
Dollars off this.
Oh, that's
not pipe.
What was that?
that's cracked
Payback
clay.
is basically 100 years.
Where pipe used to be.
We're gonna help to get.
I mean, they expressed interest in helping in some way. I don't have that, what that is yet. I mean, we had no idea what the magnitude, what we were dealing with until we took the bids. I've given them that information, but I haven't heard any response.
Anything until you hear from the railroad.
Well, we're not
We
gonna,
need
I mean, we're not gonna
$5,000 a
meet their
year.
November deadline anyway.
We're not gonna meet the November deadline. No, I've let,
We'd have no leverage with them if we don't approve it. To see how much they're gonna offer.
I kind of feel the same way. I mean,
There a bad side to that, Jody, waiting?
I mean,
Since we can't meet, I mean, there is a bad side, but since we can't meet the deadline anyway. And they're gonna have to figure out some alternative way anyway.
the best case, assuming realistically, it doesn't sound like we're gonna hear from the railroad until next week. So, I mean, if we put this off until, we're gonna have a special meeting workshop on the 25th. We put it off till then, I mean, in reality, we may be losing a week. Because,
Well, but we have to meet with Helen or.
yes, I mean, like I said, I reached out to them and I'll let them know, that council's not willing to move forward until they get some kind of response.
I just like to wait a while and. Not costing us anything.
And we had talked about Ellen being involved in those discussions, right, with Helena?
Well, I mean, again, they were receptive to participating, but to what magnitude, nobody said, because nobody had any idea what really we were talking about as far as dollar amounts till.
They're probably gonna choke when they hear this number.
I mean, I've let them know, I gave them this information. this morning.
understand how it is. It's.
But we're gonna have to do it, right?
Eventually.
We're gonna have to.
But it's
We
better
need
to.
some help from Helen. That's why we have to do it.
So I'd like to just
Why do
pass
we-
this
why do we
item number
wanna hold off?
22 and then we'll set it up on our next meeting agenda.
We pass the item.
And bring it up on the 20th.
Table.
Or table it, I'm sorry.
There
There you go.
It's a special.
Motion and.
Well, we'll have it on the 25th.
Yes, but if you table, it goes to the next regular meeting unless you do it for a definite time. So I think you want to table it
For
to
the special meeting. I don't want to wait another whole month. No,
No.
Yeah, the special meeting.
25th. I don't have my phone. with me, but-
Tabling
That's what Ken said. We just-
That's what my motion said. But yeah, we need to hear from Helen on this thing.
That's we'll never get that
Wednesday?
back.
It's a Monday after,
Monday.
Monday after next. I don't have my phone. I thought it was.
25th.
Sure.
Yes, because Friday's the 29th.
25th is Monday,
Yeah.
What?
looking right here at it, September.
Yeah, Monday the 25th.
So we have a motion and a second to table item number. So you want to write calendar, Monday, September 25th,
For the special
next
meeting.
special meeting.
Can't argue with.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign.
Motion passes.
Got your guys out there telling them.
Do that to me, Andy.
Move to agenda item. Thank you. 23.
Yeah.
Consider resolution number R 091123 one of the city of Port Lavaca authorizing professional administration project delivery services provider selection for the community development block grant mitigation programs through Texas General Land. Cody?
Mayor Council, as you recall, TCQ has approved our plan to construct a voluntary restoration of the shoreline along the east side of the Harbor Refuge site, which had been previously disturbed by one of our tenants. The cost of this project is approximately $400,000. Staff has proposed that we apply to GLO to use part of our $9.1 million allotment CDBG dollars to fund this project. We currently went out for engineering RFQs recently to select an engineer for this proposed project. A selection committee comprised of myself, Works Director Wayne Schaefer, and Harbor Master Jim Rudolph reviewed and scored 7 SOQs that we received. The committee scored urban engineering the highest for this experience category B, which was shoreline erosion protection, restoration, including coordination with TCQ municipal solid waste. Attached is a resolution to select urban engineering from this RFQ solicitation.
Cody,
Mhm.
since you, what is the experience level so low for everybody but urban?
Well, a lot of them did not submit anything for shoreline protection at all.
Urban does a lot of it.
I mean, for this time. And again, this was a general solicitation. It wasn't specific that, again, it was a general, so we weren't really sure exactly which project we were soliciting for.
We asked that company doing the Port Authority's mitigation project.
I mean, this was a solicitation. There was.
Doing Palacios shoreline.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
I mean, we received 7.
I'm not opposed to it. I was just curious. I mean, it was just such a big difference. I mean,
Yeah, I think, again, there was a few of them that they specialized in either roads or drainage or water and sewer, not really any shoreline type stuff. And those of us scoring, I mean, we have, again, personal knowledge with, and the city of Port Lavaca has as experience with them on this exact type of, again, urban did prepared the voluntary restoration plan for TCQ approval. So, okay, that's why. I mean, if you look at, I don't know if you look at the category A, your things were scored differently. A was streets and drainage rehabilitation projects. But I think some of those that were real low, that was why there really wasn't much in there. That wasn't one of the things that firm did much of.
Make a motion that
To approve this resolution.
approve this resolution of the city of Port Lavaca authorizing professional administration project delivery services provided selection for community development block grant mitigation programs through the Texas General Land Office.
Second. All right, so we have a motion and a second approving resolution number R 91123 as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed. All right, we have the session coming up. Does anybody want to take a break for a few minutes? Yeah, be very short. It would be about 20 before it's over.
I mean, I promise to keep it under 5 minutes if y'all want to just keep going.
Yeah, okay.
Well, let's just go on. Let anybody have.
Okay. At this time, I will announce this council will retire into closed session like consultation with city attorney on matters which the duty of the attorney to counsel under this rule and this
Yeah, there's no reason for you not to.
rules of professional conduct of the state bar of Texas.
Aye.
Clearly conflicts with the Meetings Act, Title 5, 551. Government. That is. It's closed session on September 2023 at 7:56 p.m.
This is just between council.
Okay. I will announce at this time that council has completed its closed session on the September 11th, 2023 at 8:05 PM. And let me sign the document.
No action.
And we move to agenda item number 25. Taking action necessary with regard to matters in closed session. If there are no action is necessary. So I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Did you get it, man?
It was the